Hello and welcome to an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Draft Show on the Sports Stove Media Network. Make sure you're following us on YouTube or subscribed on YouTube, following us on the Sports Stove Football Show podcast, and on social media at Sports Stove, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Today's episode, where we're talking about the four teams without a first-round draft pick, Colts, Falcons, Packers, and Jags. Today's episode is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code STOVE15 here through February, or at least through Valentine's Day. They're giving you 20% off with that code. Normally 15% off, of course, with the code STOVE15. All right, so like I said, we're talking about four teams today that do not have a first-round draft pick, and one of these teams has some major off-season drama as well. Let's get into things here with the Colts. No first-round pick, as they traded for Sauce Gardner, so he's on the team, of course. Their first pick comes up in the second round at pick number 47 overall. They also have a third round, fourth round, fifth, and sixth rounders, then two seventh-round picks for Indianapolis as well. The needs that I have for Indianapolis is in order: edge, offensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback, quarterback, and safety. Now, as of this recording, I don't think things will change before then. Daniel Dimes is no longer a Indianapolis Colt. He's a free agent, but we anticipate that he will remain in Indianapolis, but he's got the injury. So then you got a big quarterback question. At 47, it is plausible that the Colts have a quarterback they love there. I don't think it's probable, but I do think it's plausible. It is a possibility. Second round quarterback grades. I've got Ty Simpson as the only second round quarterback grade in my book. Fernando Mendoza is the only first rounder. Simpson's my only second rounder. And we will do quarterback rankings next week. Come back for that. The plan is by Monday to have that posted. But third rounders is going to be an intriguing conversation to have. Right now, I do have Nussmeier as a third round grade, which is different than the third round pick. It's just what I have them graded at. And then I think you could probably talk yourself into a Carson Beck. I do not have Chambliss as a third rounder, but I got to do some more research on that one before that episode happens. And I personally love Cade Klubnik, not at 47. But I like him too. So the reality is that 47 for the Colts, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for quarterback, but maybe Ty Simpson's sitting there and they say, let's do that, but to make the team better, they need to go edge rusher or offensive tackle here at pick number 47 on my big board. That would put us around Austin Searveld from Ohio State. I've got him at number 44. Isaiah World, I have him at 39, but I seem to be a little higher on him than a lot of people. So maybe Isaiah World is sitting down around that area for the Colts as well. They have some options at edge. This would be a great spot for a Joshua Josephs from Tennessee, an LT Overton from Alabama, R. Mason Thomas for Oklahoma, possibly a Romello Height. He's going to be an interesting conversation, and we'll talk about it when we do our edge rushers here in a couple weeks. But real intriguing conversation about him. Gabe Jacas in Illinois, Zion Young at Missouri are all options here at this point as edge rushers, maybe even Ugalele from Oregon as a possibility here at 47. I think that's the direction they need to go. Offensive tackle I think there could be some good options here, but I think edge is where your value is at pick 47. Linebacker, I love the linebackers that'll be available here, but again, I'm a little higher on some of these linebackers than other people. Harold Perkins Jr., I've got him at number 48 on my board. A lot of people have him down in the third round. I think he's really, really good. Jayshawn Barham from Michigan, I really like here. I've got him at number 49 on my big board, so he's a possibility. Linebackers, again, I think the value is good here too. Cornerback is really interesting. D'Angelo Pons from Indiana, Will Lee from A&M are two options I think that are going to be here at 47. That would be great pickups for Indianapolis to add to what they've already done. So I think edge is the option for me here. There's going to be a lot of people to choose from for Indianapolis at 47. So I like him going edge in the second round, and then tackle or linebacker in the third round is what I like for Indianapolis. All right, let's go to Atlanta. Atlanta's at 48, the pick right after Indianapolis here in the second round. They do not have a first-round pick because last year they traded into the first-round pick for a stellar player in James Pierce from Tennessee. But James Pierce has not had a great offseason so far. Arrested with a bunch of counts, I think 5 different possible counts on him. And this could be major, maybe by the time this comes out and you're listening to this, we already have some answers on this. But right now, James Pierce looks like he's in for a rough go of things. And even if he is playing next year, there's all kinds of questions now about will he be able to stay out of trouble and, all those kinds of things. And he had character issues, which we talked about last year, but talent-wise, no doubt, phenomenal. So now Atlanta might need some more help at edge. I don't have that on my list currently. The needs I have for Atlanta are wide receiver, cornerback, defensive line, tight end, and offensive tackle. They are limited on picks this year. They have a second, a third, a fourth, a sixth, and a seventh. I did not put quarterback on this list, by the way, for Atlanta. Kirk Cousins will be gone as the backup. Penix is the guy. Stefanski, I think they give 1 year with Penix, and if it doesn't improve drastically, they're shopping next year for a quarterback. But at 48, again, I said this about Indianapolis. If Ty Simpson's there, which I have him number 46, by the way, on my big board, if Ty Simpson's there, it might tempt them, but it would be dumb for them to take a quarterback, in my opinion, at 48. So wide receivers, what I love here for them. And again, how will the first round go with the wide receivers? How many will be left? All those kinds of things. I've got Tate, Tyson, Lemon, Boston for sure, guaranteed, gone in the first round. That's 4. I think there's a good chance we see 1 to 2 more go. The offseason will play a big role into that. Zachariah Branch, Casey Concepcion, Elijah Surratt, Chris Brazzell, all options there. And some of those guys could definitely be sitting here for Atlanta at their pick as well. And then you get into the guys, the Antonio Williams, the Chris Bell, Omar Cooper from Indiana, they're Jacoby Lane from USC as well. All options here for Atlanta at 48. Cornerback, I love the options here. Will Lee III in A&M is one of my favorite cornerbacks in the draft this year. So I think that'd be an awesome fit. Chris Johnson from San Diego State, Takario Davis from Washington State, D'Angelo Pons again from Indiana as options there. Defensive line, if a Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech would be an option possibly here at this point. I think the other guys are gone, the Christian Millers of the world, Caden McDonald's of the world, stuff like that. Tight end is a need if they don't re-sign Pitts. But again, 48 is a spot you can definitely get one. And Eli Stowers and Vanderbilt is my personal favorite outside of Sadiq. Actually, I probably like him more than Sadiq, but I also understand he's not going to get taken before Sadiq. So I love Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, Max Clare out of Ohio State as options there too. You can always do good at the offensive line. We talked about that with the Colts, and that would be a good fit too. But I think wide receiver at 48 is going to be the value pick here for Atlanta. All right, let's go to Green Bay next. Green Bay is down at pick number 52. They traded, of course, for Micah Parsons this year, so they lose their first-round pick out of that. Their first pick comes at 52. Their needs, cornerback, defensive line, offensive line, both tackle and interior, and edge rusher. Edge rusher will depend a little bit on what they do in the offseason. Do they decide to try to save some money and get rid of Rashawn Gary, or do they hang on to him? If they hang on to him, then they're probably not going to take edge here at number 2 or at second round. So cornerback to me is the greatest need the Packers have. I've already mentioned those guys, the Will Lees, D'Angelo Pons, Chris Johnsons, Takario Davis. Any of those picks would be great for me here at 52. Defensive line is a need, but I like that later in the draft. And then offensive line, actually, I think offensive line could be a pick here for Green Bay. I could see them moving up a little bit possibly, but let's go to the interior side of things. Ione will be gone from Penn State. I think Pregnon will be gone from now with Oregon. So you got a couple centers and Connor Lew from Auburn and Jake Slaughter from Florida, even a Parker Brailsford from Alabama, a Cade Piper from Iowa. There are going to be some guys here. If it's Pregnon, Lee, or Slaughter, I think second round's a great time to go interior offensive lineman. If you're going to go on the outside, and I don't think they will, I think they're going to go with Jordan Morgan at the left side, Zach Tom on the right side, but a Caleb Tiernan from Northwestern would be my pick here if you're going to go with a tackle for the Green Bay Packers down there. You know, I'm a Packer fan. I want them to address cornerbacks so badly. So I'm just going to kind of will that into existence here at pick number 52. And if it's Will Lee III, I will be ecstatic. He's my favorite cornerback in this draft. Understandably, he's not ranked above the first round guys and stuff like that. If a Colton Hood slides, that'd be awesome too. But Will Lee III is my go-to here at 52 for Green Bay. Then let's go to the Jacksonville Jaguars last. They pick at number 56 overall as their first pick. They have 1 second-round pick, 3 third-round picks, a fourth, 2 fifths, and 2 sevenths this year for the Jaguars. So they can do some damage with these 4 picks in the second and third round. Second round, their needs, I have defensive line, interior offensive line, edge, offensive tackle, and running back as options here. Running back is not their greatest need, but at 56, you might be able to get somebody pretty good down there at the running back position. Defensive line, we need to talk about them because it is a pretty big need for them. So, again, I've got Woods and Banks as my locks for the first round. They're the only two I have first-round grades on at the moment. Caden McDonald, Christian Miller are possible first rounds. They're like fringe first rounders for me, but I think they're gone by now. Washington from Oregon, Lee Hunter from Texas Tech, Dominique Orange from Iowa State is a name to keep an eye on. Tim Keenan from Alabama as well. Could all be options for them here. Back to the interior line, Jake Slaughter would be a good fit for Jacksonville as well. So, you know, when you're looking at Jacksonville, a team that had a good year, but needs to continue to build and go up there. So then I'm going to go to edge as my other option for Jacksonville. I love the idea of a Gabe Jacques out of Illinois, 6'3", 275. I like that fit for Jacksonville. Romello Height, I think we're in that category as well. Akeem Messidor, I know a lot of people have him in the first round. I do not have a first round grade on Messidor, and I am much lower on him than a lot of people, actually, anybody that I've read, listened to, talked to. You know, I'm further down on him, but at where Jacksonville's picking, if Messidor is there, I like that pick. Derek Moore from Michigan. There will be options at edge there for Jacksonville. So I think Jacksonville, if you're looking here, if the right D lineman is there, I like the value a little later there. So an interior offensive lineman, an edge rusher are all things I really like for Jacksonville. And then briefly, just because we don't talk about running backs at very much on this show when we're talking about first round stuff. So second round running backs that could be available. Jadarian Price from Notre Dame, Katron Allen from Penn State, Jonah Coleman from Washington, and Nicholas Singleton from Penn State. If Jacksonville decides to not re-sign their running back ETN, then this is a great spot for Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State. I have him higher than most. Again, I understand that, but I like the pick here for Nicholas Singleton and Jacksonville. I think the fit is just phenomenal. Pick there. There's other guys you can get later, maybe an Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska, maybe later Mike Washington out of Arkansas, but I love the fit for Singleton and Jacksonville. So at this pick, I would go interior offensive line for Jacksonville at 56 and then take care of D-line, edge, running back, tackle later on. You got 3 third-round picks. I think there's going to be lots of edge value in the third round, lots of D-line value in the third round as well. And maybe you package some stuff and move up into the second round for somebody you love as well. So there you go. Indianapolis, we're looking at edge, offensive tackle, cornerback. Falcons, wide receiver, playmaker, situation there for Atlanta at 48. Green Bay, cornerback, please take a cornerback. And then Jacksonville, I like interior offensive line at this spot as well. All right, next up, we got the Super Bowl teams. We'll talk about Seattle. We'll talk about New England and what they should do. In the last episode, we talked about San Francisco, Houston, and Denver. And then next on Friday, we will conclude all of the teams. And then next week, we get into our player rankings, back into our player rankings, re-ranking. The last time we've done ranking episodes has been a while. So we'll get back into that a little bit next week as well. Reminder, check out Righteous Felon Jerky, righteousfelon.com, promo code STOVE15. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, please, please. We really would love to have some more subscribers. So subscribe to the channel as we mark towards the opportunity of monetizing this content. And then outside of our sponsors, thank you, Righteous Felon, by the way. Love you. And then social media at Sports Stove. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We're pretty active on Twitter, not as much on Instagram and Facebook, but nonetheless, follow us at Sports Stove there. All right, when we come back, we talk. When we come back on Friday, we talk Super Bowl teams. What can they do to help their teams out next year? And we're excited about that. So join us back for that very soon. Thank you for tuning into this edition of the Sports Stove Draft Show. We'll see you next time.